Hi, we're here with Kelly Snake, puzzle designer extraordinaire, and he's about to tell us about his latest puzzle creation. Hi, Kelly.
Hi, how you doing, Nick?
Good, how are you doing today?
I'm fantastic. I finally finished this. It's a great day.
It's quite beautiful. Can you tell us a little bit about it? How did you get started with this puzzle?
Well, a gentleman by the name of William Waite came to me and asked me if I thought I could build a puzzle that incorporated a piano keyboard. And I said, sure. And I figured I would figure it out along the way.
So what did you start with?
Well, what I had, he sent me a vintage keyboard, like a kid's toy, and I took that all apart, and I was able to keep the musical rods and the little hammers inside. Everything else I built around that, though.
So you've incorporated vintage child's piano pieces into this puzzle?
Yes.
Okay, and how is that incorporated, or does the piano, is it independent of the puzzle?
No, they make up the musical rods that are inside that work with the keys.
And so, does playing the piano, is that part of solving the puzzle?
Yes, it is. The way it's designed is you read this music, and the last 7 notes, when played, actually unlock the first mechanism.
Wow, that's quite incredible. Are there any other puzzles that have ever been made this way that you know of?
Not that I've been able to find out about.
And was that a daunting task to try and do that, knowing that there wasn't anyone else who tried this before?
Yeah, I let it affect my mind a little bit, but eventually I just let it go and I had fun with it, and I found that as I worked through it, the answers came. So.
Would you mind showing us how the first step of opening the puzzle?
Sure.
How you've integrated the playing of the child's piano?
Sure thing. So the way this works is some keys are going to unlock the lock and some keys are going to relock the lock. And if you hit the right keys, you're going to get all the locks unlocked. But if you hit one wrong key, well, the whole thing resets and you have to start all over. So I'm not musical myself, so I have a cheat sheet that shows me which ones they are. And it's not a soft piano. You really got to hit the keys.
Right, because this is a plinky child's piano.
That's right. There we go. So you do that. There's just the right keys. These little fake pieces over here will come out. And then there's a little notch that you can put this into, and it'll allow you to pull this towards you. You do that, you hold that, and then you push this slider back. And that's it. That's the first part.
Wow, would you mind showing us what that looks like inside?
Sure I can.
So, Cal, I see now you've got the back open for us to show us what's going on inside. Mm-hmm. Do you mind explaining it?
So, what's happening here is, here's the lock rod, okay? And this is what is controlled out front by moving the sliders from the ends. These little pendulums are attached to the unlock keys. And all these other keys are attached to this rod up here, and when they get pulled on, it tilts just enough to break the magnetic catch on these little pendulums. So when you hit the right key, that snaps up and stays there. Hit a wrong key, and it falls back down.
Wow, and can you tell us, how did you come up with that mechanism?
Oh, it was a lot of trial and error. I made quite a few samples trying to get it to work. None of them ever quite worked. But I learned that what had to happen was that you had to be able to push the lock and the unlock keys at the same time and not ever have them mesh or cause conflict. I didn't want to be able to have any clues that hitting a certain key was a lock or unlock button, so I needed to use rubber bands to help gauge the pressure. So that they all felt the same. And the fishing line is interesting in that it allowed to, these pulleys, these little pendulums, the unlocked pendulums, it would pull them up, but the fishing line was so slack that it allowed it, that I could keep hitting that key and you'd never know. So that's the secret in there, I would say, the rubber bands and the fishing line.
So it sounds like you integrated some new materials into this puzzle that you hadn't used before in this way.
I did. Now I wanted to also talk to you, William, about the locking system that we used up in the top here. I know we had originally discussed using a system where, when you had just the right layout, that the lid would open. However, I found that problematic in that if I had a strong enough magnet, like those two playing pieces would have to be, as soon as I set them there, not even knowing the layout, I found I could unlock it. And so I kind of toiled over that for a little while, and I wasn't finding a solution. So I hope you approve of the deviant direction that it ended up taking. One of the things I appreciated about building this chest was the intriguing piano key system. I never done anything like that, and it was really a challenge to figure out what to build there and how to build that. And I tell you, every time I tried to build a little sample thing, it was never quite right. It wasn't until I really fully committed to just building something inside and really seeing the space that I had to work with that the real answers really beginning to start to flow. And I guess being open to using different materials other than wood really helped too. It was really a lot of stuff going on in my brain about trying to figure that out. It was really a challenge. I certainly appreciate that. That's for sure. And one of the things I wanted to say too, the way that this puzzle, the way you collect the pieces down in the beginning, how it's like a 3-level thing sort of, but it's 2, and the way you have to collect the pieces in the bottom to work on the top again to get back down, I thought that was a fun aspect that you had added there. I really liked doing that. And I hope that you appreciate too the way the back comes completely off. I hope you never have to service the fishing lines. From what I could see, it didn't look like they were ever any under real stress. They should last a really long time. All the little knots are coated in crazy glue to hold them tight, so should never have an issue with them untying or anything. But if you should have to, getting that back off is 100% important. All right, and there is a little part up where the little hammers hit up against the keys. That can come off of that inside wall as well, but how much you'll be able to get that completely out and out of your way, I'm not 100% sure. I didn't want to force it, but I couldn't get it quite all the way out. But if it helps you get things fixed up or whatever, then all the better.